Prepare for a fusion of knowledge and exhilaration where education and excitement collide.
Taking you on an adventure that expands your mind and speaks to your spirit.
I'm Master Nick.
I'm Lady D.
We are the Dom Life.
This podcast contains sexually explicit topics and adult content.
It is intended for listeners 18 and older.
The opinions expressed in this podcast are ours alone, based on our personal thoughts, feelings, and experiences.
We understand that others may have different opinions and experiences, and we respect that. We would love to hear from you. You can reach out to us at www.thedomlife.com. Hello, Lady D.
Hi, Master Nick.
How are you doing?
I am doing wonderful.
Good. What's the latest and greatest on you today?
The latest and greatest is that I no longer have to wear a wrist brace. I'm doing physical therapy.
Okay.
I got some shots of steroid into my finger and my wrist.
Yep.
And it helped alleviate some of the symptoms. And then we're working with a physical therapist in order to, I guess it's occupational therapist, in order to get the strength back into it and make sure my fingers move right and stuff like that.
Right.
My knee, I only wear the brace when I'm active, which I'm not now, but I've got it on. So I don't have to wear it all the time now. I'm basically wearing it when I leave the house. And then I am going to return part-time to my day job 4 months later. I'm finally returning for some hours to work.
There you go. That is good.
Yep, my hip fracture is healing, although it's healing slow as my body's trying to recover all of the damage and stuff like that. My fingers had some tears and some sprains in them, and it's just been recovery, slow going.
Yep.
But I'm doing great because mentally I'm ready to return to work and start doing some normal activities again in life.
There you go. That is great.
That's where I'm at. How about you, Master Nick?
I'm doing all right.
Just all right?
Oh yeah, I'm doing all right.
Okay.
That's what we go with.
You're doing all right.
Doing all right. So we did have an email that was sent to us over the weekend that did get us thinking about today's topic. We have a listener who is in a 24/7 TPE, total power exchange dynamic with their wife and their submissive. The submissive is going through a little bit of a rough time. The community that they are in, there's a lot of negative impacts, a lot of stuff that is affecting them. Some of it may be politics, some of it may be other things, which politics is something we will not discuss on the show.
No, but it definitely impacts things.
But it does impact others. And so they reached out and kind of give, a little bit of brief history about what's going on, and how their life has been over the last couple of years while being in this dynamic. But the submissive is depressed, and the dominant is, looking for advice, what road, what path to take to try to help their submissive, looking for any kind of ideas. So we did some back and forth. We did our communicating and what we both felt would help. So we sent that back out to an email. He did reply back. He was very appreciative.
Yes.
Of the information that we give. And so we decided let's do a podcast episode about it because it is something everybody deals with.
Yep. And we are currently dealing with it.
Oh yeah,
I'm having
in a total different way, but
yep, a lot of emotional impact from all the stuff going on.
Right.
So, and we all know that depression hits at random parts of your life.
Correct.
And being depressed can impact everyone different.
Yep.
I can cry pretty easily, and you shut down a little bit. I mean, we all deal with it different.
Right.
So, yeah, I guess that as a result of that, this we figured it would be a really good time. I mean, it's relevant in our world too,
Yes. I
which
mean,
is
right.
amazing.
And like you said, it does affect everybody. And the thing with depression is it can come in phases.
Mhm.
Um, I think we've all kind of been there.
Yeah.
We've all had our low moments and our depressive times. And that's normal. That's a part of life.
Yes.
But learning how to cope with it and trying to make sure it stays just a phase.
Right.
Any long periods of depression, can turn into a mental illness, where
Yes.
it can spiral completely out of control, where you do need medical professional help.
Well, I'm currently dealing with that. I'm
Yeah,
talking with a
you're
therapy
working with
doing
a therapist,
doing during because of the accident, there's
right?
trauma related issues that I'm having that I'm
Right,
working
but
through.
not everybody is willing to take that as the first step.
Right.
A ther
Thankfully, it's way more acceptable now,
Yes, it is,
but
but
there
the thing
are
about it is you've got to learn how to cope with it, and
right.
if you've never experienced it or don't know what to do, that is the best first step is to reach out to a professional trained therapist to help guide so you can cope with it. Nobody can cure your depression for you.
Right. One of the amazing things that I found was when I was looking for a therapist now, most of it's done online, Zoom
Correct.
meetings. And I was able to review a picture
Mhm.
as well as like a bio of
Correct.
each of the individuals that were within a company within my policy, my
Right.
insurance policy. And I was able to make selections
Correct.
based on things that were important to me at the time, somebody that's dealt with trauma, somebody that's dealt with physical aspects of it
Right.
and stuff. And it really helped to be able to see the people,
Correct.
because now I'm going to do a Zoom meeting and I'm going to see them. And I'd much rather have looked at it up
Right.
front and see,
Right.
I'm not interested in somebody who's 30 years younger than me. I'm not,
Right.
I mean,
Well,
just,
and on top of that, in their bio, they usually list what their specialty
yes,
training is. There is so many. I mean, therapy is just like BDSM. Therapy is just this huge umbrella of things. And then from there, it breaks down into more specific paths. So being able to see, what their specialty
and
is
how
in.
what their style is, that was
Right.
amazing to me that they wrote down like, hey, my style
Right.
of therapy is communication or task oriented, or
Right.
it's really helped
Yep.
me. So
So
but
it
if you
is readily available.
but that is outside of the dynamic.
Correct. So we're going to kind of talk a little bit about how it can affect your DS dynamic, ways to kind of mitigate it, ways to help your partner. Again, you're not going to cure their depression for them, but there is things that you can do to kind of maintain and show that they have a safe space, to give structure, to keep the routines and to do all that. That can kind of help with some of this. We are by far not experts. We are
No.
not medically or trained or anything in depression, but it is something we have both faced at different phases of our lives while being together. And there was certain things that we done that we feel that helped us. And we want to take this opportunity to share with you all, our ideas. They may
Yes.
work for you, they may not work for you, but maybe an idea that we give will kind of get your thought aligned with how you want to do it. It's very similar to all of our other episodes that we do. Don't do what we do exactly, but maybe what we do can help you in a way to mitigate or to realign each other and get back into a happy, successful dynamic.
Yes, and one of the things that we have on the schedule in the future is getting somebody who's a professional
Yes.
in. We just, because of the accident, it just wasn't able to
Right.
get scheduled, but that is one of our
It
things.
is. Once we can get you sitting into our Studio 2 chairs.
for a length
for
of
a length of
time.
time without being too
I
miserable
got
and
my
uncomfortable.
pillows behind me still
Yep,
helping with my my
we do still have
fractures.
those on there. All right, so let's get into this episode. So we've got general concerns unrelated to BDSM, but are impacting your submissive. And again, it could be a range of things that is causing it. So this is going to be geared towards the submissive. This is if the submissive is in a depressed state or is kind of spiraling into the negative aspects of life,
Right now, yeah,
and
there's a
it's
lot of that right
yeah.
now.
So
Yeah.
ways to as a dom to help your submissive to kind of realign, to restructure, to get a good solid foundation back under them to help them get along either out of depression or back into the positive mindset and the fun and the kinky stuff again, because all of that can diminish. It can go away.
Yes.
You could have, I mean, if your submissive is depressed or really out of their head. They don't enjoy the kink. They can't get into subspace. They're not smiling no more. Maybe they're still doing their task, but it's a total different person that is doing them. You're
They're
not
doing
seeing
it
the
out of
enjoy.
route
Right.
versus,
Out of
"Hey, I really wanna make you
right.
happy," or "It makes me happy."
Yep. So one of the things that we always fall back to, I mean, number one is communication.
Yes.
Um, but there's a lot of people that don't just have that open line of judgment free communication where they know they can sit down and talk and not be judged or have their feelings hurt or for their partner to get angry. So, one of the things that we always recommend journaling, and journaling can be different for everybody. We do journaling, you do journaling, but yours is done by a note.
Right, I
Uh,
just put a note in your
right. You
lunch.
put a note in my lunchbox. You handwrite it. There is many ways of doing the journaling. It could be you could buy the actual journal book, a diary book, have them write in that. Everybody nowadays has a phone. All the phones have a notes app where you can go in, where you can jot down notes. You can do talk to text. So you physically not having to sit and write. You can speak what's on your mind. It will take it, it will jot it all down. It can be emailed. You can send a text message. We have Dropbox. There is a free version of Dropbox that you can sign up to that you can share a folder with.
Right,
So, whereas the submissive can upload it to the Dropbox where it's there for the Dom and the
like a live
submissive, it's
document.
kind of like a live document.
Or notes, right? So the iPhone notes actually allows you to share
You
as
can, yep,
well.
you can share that. I don't know if it's kind of like a live version, like
Make a change
if you
if it
make a
changed.
change, does it change on both sides? We haven't really got much experience into the notes part of it, but I know I could write a note and share it to you,
Right.
but I don't know if I go back and change it, how all that works.
I'm a handwritten kind of
You
person
are
just because I can think things through or typing it, but I type it individually.
right. But you can use this journaling for a numerous amount of reasons. And the thought that we give this person that emailed us was have your submissive every day write down their feelings. How are they feeling that day?
It can
And
be
it
one or two
right,
sentences.
it could be as little as that or as much as they want. And then, but you've got to make it geared towards your lifestyle. If your submissive is facing daily issues throughout the day, do you want them documenting it every time they face an issue? You know
Like
what?
work.
Yeah,
Like
right,
if you have somebody that's contentious at work and you're writing those
right.
in,
What's being done and how is that making you feel? Or do you want it? At the end of the day, kind of a summary. Overall, this is what happened. You could align it to suit your needs and how you
right?
think would be best to help.
And then if you have a scene set up or do something, then you can have them write about that.
Correct.
And then our thought was if you're writing weekly, I mean, like every day, every week, every month, by the time you're at a month, you can look back
Right.
over the last month and maybe see a pattern,
Yep.
which might help the submissive to realize that they're cycling in this negativity.
Right.
And it's not their fault, but maybe they can find some ways
Find some
to.
ways to help. And so going, with the journaling as the Dom, you have to be ready to read it. Now, do you have to read it every day? Maybe you want to. Maybe you should.
You
Maybe
would.
I would for sure. Maybe you want to wait 2 or 3 days a week and read it. But the most important thing to remember is especially if this is a task that you give your submissive to do every day, you have to take the initiative to make sure you read what they're writing and you follow up with it. Maybe something they wrote, you have questions, go to them and say, okay, now I've read what you've written here, but I want to ask this, find other ways, to get those answers, and that shows them that there is an open line of communication if the communication isn't already there. That is a good way to establish that and to try to get it to where they're more willing to talk to you. But you have to read it, you have to follow up with it
Sometimes it's not about an unwillingness to talk. Sometimes it's really hard to define your feelings
in
at
words, right?
at the end of the day.
Right,
Like I'm speaking with you and I'm really emotional, or it's the next day or a week later. This way you can do it immediate
right.
and get that documented.
Yep,
So even if you are really good at communicating, a journal can do so much good
right.
in dealing with immediate
Immediate, yes, and
emotions.
that's going back, on how do you want them to do it? Because at the end of the day, are they going to remember how they exactly felt during that time? Maybe they should pull it out whenever they feel a negative impact, or if something is said to them that causes them to second guess themselves or question themselves,
Or spiral a little
or if
bit.
they spiral a little
Yeah.
bit. Yep. Um, Moving on, let's go to punishments. Now, let's say your submissive is not fulfilling their tasks, um, and they are in kind of a depressed mindset, negative outlook on life, and they're not performing their task like they're supposed to. I know we have talked about this before. There has been times you have missed a task or have forgotten about it, and there's a lot of times I will let those slide. I will bring it to your attention. Hey, I didn't get my note today, or
Right.
so, or
Or I'll
a
bring
lot of
it to your
times,
attention.
you'll bring it to my attention before I even realize that you've missed it because I leave the house. I drive 30 minutes to work.
And my brain's clicking,
So
going,
within
oh my
that time, you're like,
gosh.
but let's say, if it became a pattern where, 2 or 3 times a week you miss that note, it is not good to let your punishment slide. Now, some of you have defined punishments for certain tasks, and some of you just have a variety of punishments that you will pull for it. Maybe the punishment is more severe than what you feel is needed for that task, for that situation. It is okay to change the punishments.
Right.
If you have spelled out in there that you're going to get 10 spankings if you miss this, and if you miss that, but there is a legitimate reason, or you realize your submissive is in a depressed mindset, do you want to give those 10 spankings? Maybe that punishment turns into you're going to lay across my lap. I'm not going to spank you, but we're going to talk about it.
Right.
So it doesn't have to be a harsh or cruel punishment,
Right.
but it should be some form of punishment that is still there to keep that structure and that routine and to keep that dynamic together.
Yes, I feel like if you're already depressed and then your dominant starts changing this, then it's going to highlight the fact that you're depressed and he's seeing it, and it
Right,
might make it even worse, or
right,
he or she, sorry.
right,
It might make it a little bit worse if I feel like I'm losing the structure that's in my life that makes me feel safe.
right. So again, you got to look at if you know they're depressed or they're in a negative mindset and it's once or something like it, that's one thing. But if it becomes a routine, if it's something that they've always done every day and never missed a beat, and now all of a sudden 1, 2, 3 times a week they're missing that, that is a huge flag that you need to step up as a dom
Start
and start
communicating.
communicating,
Yeah.
find out what's going on. Again, does it have to be the severe punishment you have laid out? No. but it should be some form of punishment or some sort of communication I've noticed you've missed this day and this day.
Yep.
What is going on? What do we need to do? Open up that line of communication for it.
Another thought that we kind of were bouncing back and forth is taking the submissive out of the situation,
Correct.
taking them away for a weekend or doing something that's fun and enjoyable. And
Right.
if your submissive is um has the servant mindset, let them plan the
Correct.
weekend, the dinners,
Correct.
the actual, cuz then it's something to look forward
Yep.
to
It
in
takes
the
their mind off of what they're dealing with and now put onto something that should be a positive. Yes, task them with, maybe pick out the place where you're going,
Now, if they
but
don't like
research,
that.
right. But, have them research this town. We're going to this town on this weekend. Research that town. What is something in that town that you want to do?
Right.
What would you look forward to doing in that takes them out of the mindset of what's going on around them and puts them into something happy, something exciting,
Planning a future
planning a
event,
future event. Correct.
something that's gonna be you guys outside of the situation you're currently dealing with.
Right.
And then again, if they're the kind of submissive that wants you to control all that, then you let them know you have a surprise. You let them know that you've
Right.
planned the weekend, the night, the whatever.
Right. Maybe you've got everything planned, but there's one time slot in one of the days to fill. We've got 2 hours. I want you to pick what you want to do for that 2 hours. Everything else I've got. I know
Right.
where we're staying. I know where we're eating. I know a couple of activities that we're going to do. I want you to pick one. So
Right.
yeah, you can alter it. You can change it to make
Planning
it
outfits,
right,
maybe, if they're into that.
or picking their outfits for them. But
Right.
yes, absolutely. And
Packing up the Dom box.
oh well, you know that never leaves home without me. It's my American Express card right there. Never
Yeah.
leave home without it. But also, going to your point there, I mean, maybe it's issues in your community. Maybe there is something going on in your munch groups or your slosh groups or your kink events.
And you're feeling maybe a little
That's
bit
right.
excluded
That there is
or
some negativity going on. Maybe there's feuds or somebody in your close group that is feuding or not getting along. Step away, take them out of that equation altogether. Let
right.
things calm down. Take them out of town. Go.
Maybe there's another club you wanna go visit.
Exactly.
That would be fun.
There is several. I know there's
Come
several
to,
around here.
Tempted in Louisville.
There you go. Come to Club Tempted. Let us know you're coming. We'll meet you there. We'll make sure you have a good time. We'll show you around. We'll treat you like VIP when you're there. Most importantly, throughout all of this, as a dom, you've got to provide a safe space in the home for your submissive, and that can happen in a many different ways. Um, just like everybody deals with everything, how you show your submissive a safe space will depend on your relationship.
Right.
It doesn't work the same for everybody, but letting your submissive know that when they are home, they are safe, they are taken care of, whether that means cuddles on the couch or when your submissive gets home or when you get home, grabbing a collar, putting the collar on your submissive and saying,
I'm in control
I'm in
tonight.
control tonight.
Yep.
You are mine tonight.
You
What would you like to eat tonight? Taking care and providing for your submissive.
It's also shutting out the world, turning off the phones, the social
Right.
media, and being present with each other when you're there
Yep.
together. So that's a really hard one to do because you come home and work and all the stuff going
Right.
on. To literally shut the door, shut it all out, and as the Dom, take command of the situation.
Right. And it just dawned on me. Um, so Netflix has the little fireplace setting. I know that we've done it for like Christmas pictures or something, but um, I mean, just a thought, just an idea of providing a safe space, coming home, turning the TV on, putting it on that. So something is playing. There's a little bit of sound because it makes the crackling noise as the fire is burning. But just putting that on
Setting some blankets up on the
Setting
floor.
some blankets up on the floor or up on the couch, making a big puppy pile of blankets, pillows, whatever, and just laying there holding each other, just cuddling. I mean,
Talking
and
through.
let the conversation just flow.
Yeah,
If you're just getting home and, one of you needs to decompress, that is a perfect way to decompress. Just lay there and eventually the conversations will start. And then by the end of the night, you're probably both sitting there laughing, giggling, telling stories or whatever, but that would be a good, perfect example of shutting the outside world off and bringing everything to one room where you're both are in and enjoying the moment.
agreed. I think that would be amazing, Master Nick. When are we doing it?
I don't know. One day. All right, let's take a break right here for right now.
It's a good place to stop.
I think it is. We like to keep our episodes less than 40 minutes. So I believe this is going to go longer than that. Let's take a break here.
Okay.
We'll come back next week for part 2. Y'all make sure and come back.
Please follow, like, and share our podcast.
Make sure to visit thedomlife.com where you can find pictures and other details about the Dom Life podcast. And through the Contact Us button, you can ask questions or provide recommendations for future episodes.
We want to explore your kink too.
Be sure to check out upcoming events to see where our adventures are taking us and our photo gallery to where we've been.
Thank you for joining us on this journey. We hope you had fun listening and learning with us.
Till next time, keep calm and remember your safe word.
Red, red, red.